in about 2 months or 3 months, in March basically, we can expect EPF to be announcing the dividends for the year. Now, a lot of people have been quite excited about this year's EPF. Too busy to find stock ideas? Check out Fiverr Pro to shortcut your research time and effort by 90%. 10% off link in the comments and description. Simply because ASB announced a 5.75% dividend, which is nearly 10% growth from the previous year, 2023. Now, why this is the case? Since 2014, EPF has always had a higher dividend rate than ASB.
Since 2020.
Sorry, since 2020.
Yeah.
But if you and before that, it's pretty much neck and neck. Am I right?
So before that, obviously ASB will be higher a little bit. Actually, this is very interesting because we have no idea how ASB managed to gather like 7 to 8%.
So to cut short, we think that the way ASB announced the dividends earlier is not as sustainable as what EPF does. So since 2020, apologies, not 2014, so far we are seeing EPF in essence outpacing ASB. So you could argue that it will be higher than 5.75% and it will reach 6% territory. 6% territory is quite rare actually in Malaysia.
Yeah, it's quite. It's been a while since they last posted a 6%. I cannot remember. I think it's like a few years ago. So exactly. Yeah, I can look forward to it. But anyway, this is basically the holdings for ASNB according to our annual report for 2024. You can see that majority of ASB's portfolio is related to the KLCI index. So about 30%, it is just Maybank and also Sime Darby companies. So Sime Darby Plantation and so Sime Darby Berhad. But if you look at the rest of the list, right, it's very, very closely just linked to the KLCI index. So what that tells us is that whether EPS stock portfolio, is it similar to ASNB? If it's yes, and they can give like a 9.5% growth, so most likely EPS dividend rate also would follow suit, which is a very high chance. Now, if you look at EPF 2024's dividend, right, you can see that it's categorized under two. So SK, it is their SS is their Sharia, SK is their conventional one.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So anyhow, this is the Edge article, and they did say that the Sharia for EPF would likely hit 6% according to their back of the envelope calculation. Conventional one, they still not sure yet, but high chance it will hit 6% as well because of our investment income has improved quite a fair bit, right, for EPF. So yeah, you can see it is up 20% in just for the past 1 month. In the past 1 year. And this is due to Malaysia's GDP is growing at 5.9%, and also the KLCI index actually grew 13% year to date. So yeah, I mean, if the KLCI is doing so well, definitely EPF will do as well. Now, if you can see that this is their breakdown for how they allocate their assets, right? You can see 93% of the income actually comes from their equity segment. So the equity is obviously the one that is doing the best. But one thing that is pretty interesting is that you can see that their fixed income instrument, it is about 47%. So why is that? They allocate like so much inside fixed income asset, right? And they only contribute like 33%, which is like 3 times lesser than the equities one. It's because they have this guaranteed dividend of 2.5% at least. Yeah. So this one is guaranteed already for EPF members. That's why they have to be safe and park half of their money into fixed instrument, just in case that, let's say, what if 2024 is like a market crash year, right? So yeah, they are trying to just hedge their risk and they are parking this into a much more safe haven asset class. Now, this is EPF annual report. You can see what stocks they own inside their portfolio. This is just for the Malaysia segment only. But to sum up, they are basically holding KLCI index companies. So KLCI index is up 13%. So definitely their investment income will be better off. I mean, it's up 20%. So yeah, it's pretty well. Now, what is interesting for their annual report is they have a breakdown for their equities and also whatever exchanges or whatever countries that they have been invested in. So you can see that there's a huge chunk is coming from your domestic equities.
Yeah, so out of 400, roughly 140 is in Malaysia.
Yes. And then the rest is all 150 and 100 billion is in the global equity managed by fund managers and also external fund managers. Now you can see that this is the Bursa Malaysia. Yeah, just now I mentioned 140 billion, which is about, let me do a quick math, 40%. 40% of their asset allocation is towards Bursa Malaysia, and then the remaining 60% it is all scattered around different exchanges in across
Of course,
different
New York
countries.
and Nasdaq, if you add them together, comes up to be about 70 billion.
Yes.
So about half the Malaysian portfolio.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, this is interesting stats if you read their annual report. Now, some other facts that we have found inside their annual report is that they pay 94% in terms of their whatever net income they made for that particular year. So that is basically their dividend payout ratio lah, if you guys didn't know. Almost 100%. Why is it not 100%? It's because obviously they still need to like pay their fund managers the fees, they have to pay for whatever miscellaneous fees, their officers, all those kind of things. So it's not really 100%, but it's 94%. Number two is the board members for EPF are multi-millionaires. You can see this is not yearly allowance. This is monthly.
Wow.
Yeah, so fixed monthly allowance and meeting attendance allowance for each of the board is basically they are making about five. Now this is not even like 5,000. This is like in the millions, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So the senior management emoluments they make about 10.82 million a month. So yeah, it's a very very lucrative job. I mean, obviously, EPF is managing a trillions of asset worth of asset value, so that's why they are getting paid a lot. Now the third one is they also did break down the withdrawals, and these are some of the anomalies that we found for 2022 to 2023. You can see that number one is property. There is more people who actually withdraw money to pay their housing loan. But then if you look at the value, there is actually sorry, there's more. The value of the housing loan monthly installment actually increased by a lot also.
70%.
Yes. So what this tells us is that maybe property prices is more expensive now. So that's why they have to like withdraw more as it was before.
So where does renovation come into it? Where would it be classified?
That's interesting. It's not over here renovation. But renovation.
I think buy build. I think buy build is considered the same. Because buy/build. So build is probably renovation.
Could be.
Yeah.
Now the second one is education. This one I think is like
Doubled.
post-COVID. Yeah, they doubled it. So what that means is that I think they are sending their children to international schools or some private schools. Now the last one is this one. It was newly introduced in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, their member protection plan, which means they can actually withdraw money out to pay insurance, takafu and all those stuff from EPF. So that's why you can see that is a double also from 8.9 billion to 16 billion. That's
quite a big jump is Hutch as well, if I eyeball it correctly. So it's 400 million and then it grow to 2 billion.
Yes.
I think that's one of the biggest jumps, yeah.
Yeah, so these are a few interesting withdrawal by schemes in the annual report. So yeah, the thoughts over here is basically based on the anomaly is that the property prices are slightly higher, and I think this is also evident. You can see that building material prices actually has gone up a lot, cement, steel, all those kind of things. That's why property prices also go up. Probably in the future, either it will stay at this particular price or maybe it will go higher. We shall see. The second one is if you actually invested in KLCI index, you will perform better than EPF. Like if
this
let's
year,
say, for this year already. Yeah, which is quite interesting. It's like double EPF. If let's say they pay like 5.7 to 6%, right? So yeah, this tells you that maybe sometimes investing by yourself can.
Actually, I always wondered why EPF. Or maybe I'm wrong. I'm not kept myself updated. But why wouldn't EPF want to buy some S&P 500?
Actually, I think they do, but it's not a lot lah. Most likely, it's not a lot.
I think they should.
They go all in.
No, not all in. 40%. Just kidding. But you know what I mean. I think it's something they can consider. Although I would say that if I were EPF, and they're probably doing this to some degree already, I would actually invest in some of the top companies and then actually invite some of the guys to Malaysia and, let's say, like of course Elon, you have all the NVIDIA guys, to invite them, to train up the people, because that's, I think, one area we tend to not pay as much attention to, which is like, our tech sector is mainly Intel and Texas Instrument, right? They came here in the 70s, and then a lot of guys in Penang decided to work for them, and then after a few years, they came out and set their own businesses, and that's why we have that ecosystem. So I think EPF can play a role because they are now investors in these companies, and they are quite big, right? They have billions behind them, so they can call them and meet some of these CEOs personally and say, hey, look, we're Malaysia, we're a small country, but we want to really, grow, and we think you can help.
Yeah, I think last year they did invite Howard Marks.
Yeah.
So if you're lucky, you work in EPF, they are under investment analyst, right? I think you have met him. I think it was last year or 2 years ago, I can't remember. But yeah, he was here. So hopefully they can invite more of these like great fund managers here to teach about investment and all this stuff. Now, so the last point is, will 2025 be better? So far, I think if you look at if you watch our previous video on our stock picks for 2025, it seems like it's going to be a good year. A lot of analysts are bullish. But then also it's kind of like scary also, because everybody is so optimistic at the same time. When we don't know much about Trump policy also. And he's coming already, and he's ready to execute most of his tariff plan. So we don't know how will it impact. Probably it's going to be the same as 2018 to 2019. 2018, 2019, there was a quite of an uncertain period because of the tariff. But right now, China is already prepared for it. I think other countries also are prepared. But so far, there's not much of a catastrophic catalyst that say 2025 is going to be a bad year at the moment. But we will never know. But the signs are showing that it's going to be better for 2025. And yeah, we hope that it will be better also. So yeah, that's about it for today's EPF video. Hopefully, they can distribute 6% dividend yield. If they do, we will be celebrating. So if not, you can check out Fire Pro, because we also have been beating EPF in just a few months only. You can see that our borrowing portfolio, it is actually designed to compete with EPF. And this is the most conservative portfolio. It is our dividend port, and it is up 14.9%. I think at peak it was around 16%, which is pretty good. And if you want to check out our best ideas, which is our Fire Pro Malaysia or FPM, it is up 52%. I believe there's two companies. It is there's
over
like
100%,
over 200%.
200%.
Yeah, it's a very
not
good.
Not too bad.
Yeah, and hopefully we can find more stocks that can make 200%. So if you're interested to see how we do our write-ups, how we analyze companies, how we assess management, and how do we even like get certain information on the industry that may or may not be accessible to the public, you can get all of this information inside Fire Pro. Whenever you have like first-hand information, we just share it out over there. And if you got any questions also, we have a very vibrant community over there. It's always been talking about stocks and life in general.
Yeah, people ask us the questions. Other members answer it for us.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
That's the good thing. Yeah.
And if you want to get a taste, you can check out the free sample.
Yes.
Links in comment and description. With that, guys, thanks for supporting us. May 2025 be a pretty good year. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.